You just spent $500 on a ceramic coating. The installer promised 5 years of protection. But 18 months later, the water beads are gone, the gloss is faded, and you're staring at a dull hood wondering what went wrong. Here's the truth most detailers won't admit. Ceramic coatings don't fail because of bad products. They fail because of what you do in the first 90 days and what you keep doing every single week after that. One single mistake, repeated over and over, will destroy even the hardest 9H coating before it hits year 2. And the worst part? You probably think you're doing the right thing. Stay with me because I'm going to show you the hidden enemy killing your coating, the exact timeline of how it dies, and the one change that will make any coating last its full rated lifespan. Let's get into it. First, let's clear up what a ceramic coating actually is, because if you don't understand the chemistry, you'll never understand why it fails. A ceramic coating is a liquid polymer, usually silica or siloxane-based, that chemically bonds to your clear coat and forms a semi-permanent glass-like layer. It's not a wax. It's not a sealant. It doesn't sit on top. It cross-links with the paint at a molecular level, which is why it lasts years instead of months. But here's the catch. That bond is only as strong as the surface it's applied to and the environment it lives in afterward. The coating itself might be bulletproof in a lab, but your paint isn't a lab. It's exposed to UV, acid rain, bird droppings, iron particles, tree sap, and the single biggest threat, abrasive contact. Every time something rubs against that coating, you're thinning it. And once it thins below a critical point, the hydrophobic layer collapses and you lose protection fast. Now here's where the industry pushes a convenient lie. They want you to believe maintenance is optional. They show you videos of water sliding off a coated hood like magic, and they imply that's permanent. But no coating manufacturer will ever tell you in bold letters that improper washing is the #1 cause of premature failure. Why? Because if they admitted that, they'd have to admit that most customers will destroy their coating within 2 years through normal behavior. The truth is that ceramic coatings are scratch-resistant, not scratch-proof. They have a hardness rating, yes, but hardness doesn't mean invincibility. It means resistance to marring under controlled conditions. The moment you introduce contaminated wash mitts, automatic car washes, or aggressive drying, you're grinding that coating down micron by micron. And the clock starts ticking the day you drive off the lot. Let's talk about what actually works and what destroys the bond. A ceramic coating performs beautifully when it's cleaned with pH-neutral soap, soft microfiber, and zero pressure on the surface. It thrives when you pre-rinse to remove loose dirt, use a 2-bucket method, and dry with clean, plush towels or filtered air. Under those conditions, even a mid-grade coating will last 3 to 5 years. But the second you skip the pre-rinse, use a dirty sponge, or take it through a tunnel wash with spinning brushes, you're abrading the coating faster than UV degradation ever could. Here's the rule: if dirt is on the surface and you apply pressure, you're cutting the coating. Period. It doesn't matter if the coating costs $200 or $2,000. Physics doesn't care. Abrasion is abrasion. And once you've worn through the hydrophobic top layer, water stops beading, contaminants stick harder, and the coating becomes functionally useless even though some silica remains bonded. Now let's bust the biggest myth in the coating world, that ceramic coatings are maintenance-free. This myth kills more coatings than anything else. People hear 5-year protection and assume they can wash it like a normal car. They can't. A coating doesn't make your paint indestructible. It makes it more chemically resistant and easier to clean, but only if you clean it correctly. If you use harsh degreasers, acidic wheel cleaners that splash onto the paint, or alkaline bug removers every week, you're chemically degrading the silica matrix. If you clay bar too often or use abrasive polish to remove water spots, you're mechanically removing the coating. And if you let contaminants sit for days, like bird bombs or tree sap, the coating will etch just like clear coat does, because it's only 2 to 5 microns thick. The myth says coatings are tough. The truth is they're only tough when you treat them like the thin chemical layer they actually are. Here's the hidden danger nobody talks about: coating compression and micro-scratching in the first 30 days. When a coating is freshly applied, it's still curing. Full cure takes anywhere from 1 to 4 weeks depending on temperature, humidity, and the specific product. During that cure window, the coating is softer and more vulnerable. If you wash the car in week 1 with a rough mitt or dry it with a contaminated towel, you can actually compress and scratch the coating before it's even reached full hardness. This creates weak points that propagate over time. Water stops beading in those areas first. Dirt embeds easier. The coating begins to fail in patches rather than uniformly. You'll see dull spots on the hood, roof, and trunk, all the horizontal surfaces that get the most abrasive contact. And once those patches start, they spread. The coating around them has to work harder, the bond weakens, and within 18 months the entire panel looks like it was never coated at all. So what are the symptoms that your coating is dying? Pay attention, because these are your early warning signs. First, water stops beading in high contact areas like the door handles, around the mirrors, and on the hood near the windshield. You'll still see beads on the roof and trunk, but the areas you touch or wipe most often will sheet instead of bead. Second, the paint feels slightly rougher when you run your hand over it, even after washing. That roughness is embedded contamination that the coating can no longer repel because the hydrophobic layer is compromised. Third, water spots become harder to remove. A healthy coating releases minerals with a quick detail spray. A failing coating holds onto them, and you'll need a mild acid or polish to get them off. If you notice any of these symptoms before the 2-year mark, you've been washing incorrectly. The good news is you can stop the damage right now. The bad news is you can't reverse what's already been worn away without polishing and recoating. Here's where it gets worse for certain drivers. If you live in a hot climate, park outside, or drive a turbocharged car that sees high engine bay temperatures, your coating degrades faster. Heat accelerates the breakdown of siloxane bonds, especially in direct sunlight. UV radiation doesn't scratch the coating, but it does weaken the molecular structure over time, making it more vulnerable to abrasion and chemical attack. If you combine heat exposure with poor wash habits, you're looking at 12 to 18 months of real protection instead of 5 years. Turbo cars and hybrids also generate more underhood heat, which radiates through the hood panel and can soften the coating slightly during long drives. That softened state makes it easier to scratch during the next wash. If you're in Arizona, Texas, or Florida and you're still using a drive-through wash, your coating is already half gone. The environment is working against you, so your maintenance has to be twice as careful. But here's the twist nobody expects. The solution isn't buying a more expensive coating. It's changing one single habit. The biggest killer of ceramic coatings isn't UV, isn't weather, isn't even cheap product. It's friction during drying. Most people focus on the wash process, and that's important, but the drying step is where the most damage happens. When the paint is wet, dirt and minerals are suspended in water. If you drag a towel across that surface, you're grinding those particles into the coating. Even if you use a clean towel, the pressure and motion create micro-scratching. The fix is simple: use a blower. A forced air dryer removes 95% of the water without touching the paint. You can finish with a damp microfiber for the last few drops, but the heavy work is done contact-free. This one change, used every single wash, will double the lifespan of any coating. I've seen 3-year-old coatings that still bead like new, and the only difference was the owner used a leaf blower or dedicated car dryer every time. Now let's build your coating survival checklist. Rule 1. Never wash in direct sunlight or on a hot panel. Heat accelerates drying, which increases friction and the chance of water spots. Rule 2. Always pre-rinse with strong water pressure to remove loose dirt before you touch the paint. Rule 3. Use a pH-neutral coating-safe soap, not dish soap or degreaser. Rule 4. Wash with a clean, soft microfiber mitt or sponge, and rinse it in a second bucket constantly. Rule 5. Dry with forced air first, then a clean, plush microfiber towel with zero pressure. Rule 6. Use ASiO2 boost spray every 4 to 6 weeks to refresh the hydrophobic layer and add sacrificial protection. Rule 7. Never use automatic washes, brushes, or rough sponges. Rule 8. Remove contaminants like bird droppings, sap, and bugs within 24 hours using a damp microfiber and quick detailer. Follow these 8 rules and your coating will last its full rated life. Break even one consistently, and you'll be recoating in under 2 years. Here's your final takeaway. Ceramic coatings are incredible technology, but they're not magic shields. They're thin chemical layers that require respect and proper care. The coating doesn't fail because it's weak. It fails because we treat it like it's invincible. Every wash is either adding life or subtracting it. Every drying session is either safe or destructive. You don't need a professional detailer to maintain a coating. You just need to understand that less contact equals longer life. If you take one thing from this video, make it this: switch to a blower for drying, and you'll instantly eliminate the #1 cause of coating failure. Your coating will bead harder, last longer, and look better in year 3 than most coatings look in year 1. That's the difference between knowing the truth and believing the marketing. So here's my question for you. Are you still drying your coated car with a towel, or have you already made the switch to forced air? Drop a comment and let me know, because I want to hear what's working for you. If this video just saved your coating, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And speaking of next, we're going deep on why your paint correction didn't last 6 months and the one tool that's secretly destroying your clear coat faster than swirl marks ever could. You're not going to want to miss that one. Stay sharp, stay protected, and I'll see you in the next video.